Hola gente, ¿qué tal? Estamos aquí con Mike Rosenberg. Él es Passenger. So Mike, how have you been? I mean, it's been a while since you started in music. We're actually celebrating now. So how have you been all this time?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a crazy journey. I started about 500 years ago. You can see my grey hair. Um, um, but yeah, I mean, 10 years ago, I released the album All the Little Lights, which had my very famous song Let Her Go on. So we're releasing an anniversary edition of this album this year, which is really exciting.
Before we go into the details about the album, I really need to know, thinking or looking back, what can you see change like in you and in your music all these years, and what did you learn, like what do you like treasure in your heart?
That's such a good question, and quite a difficult one to answer. I mean, I think I've been doing this for 15, 20 years now, so I've learned an awful lot. I started as a street musician. So, for 5 years, I traveled around playing my music on street corners to anybody that would listen. Um, I never thought I would have a famous song or be able to play big concerts or anything like that. So, when that happened, it was such a shock. And really, the last 10 or 11 years have just been the most crazy, wonderful adventure. I just feel very lucky because there's lots of people who write really good songs and lots of really great musicians out there that never get the luck that I did. So I just more than anything, I just feel very fortunate actually. Yeah.
If you could go back in time and you could talk to the old you, what would you tell them? Because I know you're the only one who knows what was going through your head on that time and now. So what would you tell yourself?
I think yeah, I mean I guess it's just hard. It was hard to keep the faith at times. You're playing on some street corner and people are just walking past and no one's interested, and or you're playing in a pub to like six people. It's very difficult to keep the faith at times. And the older that I was getting, and like I was like, oh my God, am I, is that like is anything ever going to happen? So I think in those more difficult moments, I would just like to tell myself to keep on going and keep trusting in it. I always trusted in my songs, and I knew that when I could get in front of people and play my songs to them, something good would happen. So I just knew that I needed to do that more and more and more. So yeah, I guess all I would tell myself is to keep on going, really.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So you can follow your inner voice. Okay. Let's talk all the little lights. This anniversary edition. What can we expect? Because we know like all the songs. That album actually was like a complete hit. I really don't have to tell you, and it's amazing that it's been already 10 years. So what can we expect?
Well, yeah, it's all of the songs as people know them, but just completely reimagined, re-recorded. I think 10 years ago I was a very different person. I was a very different artist. My voice was very different, a lot higher, and I just didn't have the experience that I do now. I've made 14 albums now. At the time, I think I'd only made three or four. So I think sometimes over the years when I've heard songs from that album, although I'm very proud of them and I love what we did, there's a part of me that's always just been like, oh man, I'd love to try that again. I wish that I could get in the studio and record these songs again because I love the songs, but I would just do them differently. So that's what we ended up doing. So I just think they're better. Like everything about them, I think they're performed better. We've got a really great band now, and so everyone's played it beautifully. It just feels more mature. It feels more sure of itself, more sort of positive. Um, and of course, we've got four very special guests performing on this album as well. So it's a really special thing for me. I've actually been feeling quite emotional. Like just seeing the fans' early response about us telling, just telling them about the album even before they've heard any music. You know, people are really kind of emotionally connecting with this idea, and it's really, yeah, it's really special, I think.
Right. So I got the chance to listen to like a sneak peek to one of the songs, like the first single actually. But before we go into that, my next question and what popped into my mind as soon as I like heard what the first single was that why not? Because I know like the whole album it was a hit, right? But there's one specific song, Let Her Go. It was like a worldwide hit. So my question is, what made you like not choose it as the first single, or what made you choose the first single as it is?
Let Her Go is coming. Don't worry. It's on its way. I think, yeah, the idea is for that to come out a little bit later. I guess yeah, we kind of wanted to ramp up to that moment, not just kind of come out with Let Her Go, here you go, blah blah blah. And I don't
Right.
know, like just kind of ease into it a little bit more. But the song that we've chosen, Life for the Living, is, yeah, of course, it's not the big global hit that Let Her Go is, but it's a really important song to me. I've ever since I wrote it, I've played it pretty much every concert. It's such an important song. It's such a, I think that real diehard Passenger fans love that song. So I think it's a really good way to introduce the idea. Yeah, before wheeling out the big guy. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Well, I was just wondering that, but I do agree with Life for the Living because, well, the lyrics are very, I think they go specifically with what we go through nowadays because we are living like, going through 1,000 miles, per hour. Our lives are really crazy, like for everybody.
Yeah.
So I think we really need to take it like a time to think about our life and not just like think about regrets and what we could have changed and like just live like ourselves. So
Absolutely.
I heard the collaboration with Foy Vance,
That's right.
and yeah, well, yeah, it was very good. I mean, both of your voices sounded amazing. It gives you this touch that the song, of course, didn't have before, but it sounds, as you say, different, and it's still the same song.
Yeah.
So it's very good. How did that collaboration came out?
I met Foy. It's what's really nice about the four collaborations, the four special guests. They're all people that I met and that I was sort of performing with and playing music with around the time of the original being written and recorded and released. So there's some really nice kind of tie-ins there. Foy, I met. We were both opening up for Ed Sheeran. We were both his opening act in 2012, I believe. So I met Foy then, and I think, yeah, he's a wonderful guy. He's an amazing artist. I'm not sure how big he is in Peru, but he's from Northern Ireland, and he's one of a kind. He writes really honest, beautiful songs. There's something very raw about him. It's not polished. It's not beautiful all the time. It's just real. And I think that really fits the sentiment of this song, So I think as soon as I was starting to think, who could be good for each song, Life for the Living and Foy Vance just kind of, there was like a moment in my brain that it collided together and it made perfect sense. And I'm so happy with how it's come out. I think it's a really, really strong version of the song.
And we also have a video coming for this song, right?
Yeah. Tomorrow.
What can you tell us about it?
I can't tell you too much. I think this interview will be out by the time the video is. So it's basically just me. Foy lives in Scotland, which is very beautiful and very good for making videos because there's mountains and lakes and everything basically looks like Lord of the Rings. So yeah, so we went up and just kind of walked around and drank coffee and kind of faffed about for a day and filmed it. It's nothing like crazy, but it's just a really sweet little video, I think. Yeah.
Okay, so I really heard you say there's like a couple more guests on the album, like more than two actually. So I was wondering, if one of this one Ed Sheeran, because I know you guys have been friends for quite a long time since you were like very, very young.
Yeah. It's possible that one of the collaborations might be something to do with Ed Sheeran. I couldn't possibly tell you at this stage, but
I've heard some stuff though.
okay, you've heard some stuff. Yeah. All right. I might as well just let the cat out of the bag. Yeah. Ed has very kindly agreed to duet on one of the songs, which is really special. I mean, it's obviously amazing for me to be able to sing with Ed because he's such a big, a massive star. But for me, he's just a really good friend. And like the other three collaborations, it's just really important he was there at the time. He had such a big part to play in this album's success that it just felt so right to have him involved. He took me around the world. I was his opening act for several years, and he put me in front of his fans, and so much of my success is down to his generosity. So yeah, we've been friends for a really long time, and it's a real, I'm just very privileged to have him on the record. It's going to be really, really fun to see that song come out.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds very exciting. And I was actually asking because I know you guys are friends like before even like music or during whenever you started, but I know the friendship goes first as like whenever you think about friendship collaboration thing. So to wrap up the collaboration theme, with which artists that you haven't collaborated with until now would you love to work with?
That's a very good question. Alive or dead or anything?
Okay, give me two. One,
okay.
If bring somebody back from the dead.
Okay.
And the other one that has to be like a possibility.
Okay. That's a really good question. I think I'm going to say there's a singer called John Prine who I'm sure nobody's ever heard of. He's an old country singer from Nashville. And he passed away during COVID. He got COVID a year or two ago and died. He was one of my favorite ever songwriters. And yeah, it would have been a dream come true to collaborate with that guy. Alive, I mean, Taylor Swift would be pretty cool.
Wow.
Yeah, I just think she's amazing. I'm just amazed by what she's done, what she's achieved, her ability to span different genres. Her songwriting's incredible. And she's just amazing. Yeah. So that I guess would be my living collab. Yeah.
Well, that would really sound amazing. I mean, it's a very good combination of different styles. So, I mean, please get in a conversation with Taylor. I mean, whatever is her.
I'll call her after this interview. We'll make this happen. Yeah.
Please do. That would be very, very interesting to hear. All right, Mike, thank you for being with us today. It was a pleasure. And I really hope to see you soon. I mean, here in Peru, please do come. And maybe for a tour presentation, or that would be even better.
I would love that. I really hope that can happen very soon. Thank you so much for your time.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.